talking about it's becoming too expensive to live. Y'all, y'all, y'all. It's someone is saying that it's too expensive to live. Anxious older adults try to cope with limited budgets. That's concerning. It should be a concerning and a message to younger people right now, especially when we see so many single women, black women, but all women, right? I can do it by myself. I don't need no help. I don't care. I got it all going on. I got all business. All that foolishness, y'all already know. People, I swear to you, act like they not gonna get older. It's a blessing to get older. Shout out to me, okay? That is the goal. The goal is not to be dead at 20 anything, to be red rum, deleted, self-deletion, whatever. Okay. This is the goal, is to be old. Just FYI. All right. I'm not offended at all. I'm just saying. Some people don't look at it that way. People I think that they're gonna be 20 something forever. Then you see the walls, shout out to Kevin Samuels with the 30 somethings, and they like, oh my God. And they start to realize, I think, right? So this article is saying economic insecurity is upending the lives of millions of older adults as soaring housing costs and inflation diminish the value of fixed incomes. This is not something that's new to us. We talked about it. We talked about the housing crisis, the eviction crisis, the student loan, like all these crises, COVID, gas. Come on now. Everything's going up but the money, right? What else could it be? How many videos have I shown where the people are getting kicked out after living someplace rented for 22 years? Even if you got your own home. It's crazy. I can believe this, but it's still shocking to see. Across the country, seniors who until recently successfully managed limited budgets on growing more anxious and distressed are growing. Some lost work during the COVID-19 pandemic. Others are encountering unaffordable rent increases and the prospect of losing their homes. We already know about that, right? Still others are suffering significant sticker shock at the grocery store. Child, this the time to eat less and lose some weight. If ever there was a time, they're gonna hate me, y'all. To eat less and lose some daggone weight, it will be now. Okay. Stop eating out Applebee's and Friendlies and whatever else there is, and eat at home, cook some food, get some fresh food, get some vegetables, get some daggone fruit, right? I'm not talking about these older people. I'm talking about the younger people. Dozens of older adults are struggling with these challenges. None poor by government standards, wrote to me after I featured the Elder Eldix, a measure of the cost of aging. I have to look at that later. That tool developed suggests that 54% of older women who live alone have incomes below what's needed to pay for essential expenses. Let me read that again. Okay. It says, let me read from the beginning. That tool, developed by researchers at the Gerontology Institute at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, suggests that 54% of older women who live alone have incomes below what's needed to pay for essential expenses. For single men, the figure is 45%. So here's another stat where women, just women are leading, okay, in the older years, living alone, not having enough money to live off of. Okay. So this person then tried to he spoke to 3 women who wanted to be talked to. So the first one is Betty. Come on, Betty. After 33 years living in my apartment, okay, apartment. I know a lot of people just think, I'm gonna just rent. I'm gonna just rent. I'm not gonna own nothing. Okay. To each his own. I will have to move since the new owners of the building are renovating all apartments and charging rents of over $1,800 to $2,500 a month, which I can't afford. Cohen, 79, has been distraught since learning that the owners of her Towson, Maryland apartment complex are raising rents precipitously as they upgrade units. Kind of makes sense. If you're going to upgrade the building, then you're going to have to increase the rent. Just like if you change anything in any type of product to make it better, you're not going to charge the same price. You're going to freaking increase it. That's like common sense, right? Blah, 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 blah. She pays $989 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment with a terrace. Woo, child. $989. Whoo. A similar apartment has been redone recently, went on the market for $1,900. This is a national trend affecting all age groups as landlords respond to high demand. Rent hikes this year have reached 9.2%. We've been talking about this. People have been talking about this in the news and stuff for at least even before COVID, honestly. But obviously, COVID made it worse. Cohen has been told that her lease will be canceled, damn, at the end of June, and that she'll be charged $1,200 a month until it's time for the apartment to be refurbished and for her to vacate the premises. That's right, you got to get out of here. So if you take a look at the picture, I don't know if you can see. You see these cabinets? Grade F. It's grade F. It's not even no upgrade. Look at the color back here of the daggone the ceiling and the walls and everything. Basic, y'all. It's basic, okay? No upgrade here at all. She said, the devastation, I cannot tell you. 33 years of living in one place let you know I'm a very boring person. Okay. But I'm also a very practical, stable person. I never in a million years would have thought something like this would happen to me. Kevin Samuel's not warned about this stuff. I'm not talking about her, but has Kevin Samuel not warned people about this? Women in particular, try to tell them, try to give them the information, try to let them know how it works. Finance, finance that a lot of women just don't know about. Okay. Betty, sorry for your luck, child. During a long career, Cohen worked as a risk manager for department stores and as an insurance agent. She retired in 2007. Today, her monthly income is $24.26 a month, $18.51 from Social Security after payments for Medicare Part B are taken out, $308 from an individual retirement, and $267 from a small pension. In addition to rent, Cohen estimates she spends $200 to $240 a month on food, $165 on phone and internet, $25 on Medicare Advantage premiums, $20 on dental, $22 for gas, and $100 or more for incidentals. That doesn't include non-routine expenses such as partial dentures that Cohen needs. She guesses they'll cost $1,200, or hearing aids that she purchased several years ago for $3,400. Drawing on a small savings account, if forced to relocate, Cohen estimates moving costs will top $1,000. Cohen has looked for apartments in her area, but many are smaller buildings without elevators and not readily accessible to someone with severe arthritis, which she has. One-bedroom units are renting for $1,200 and up, not including utilities. There are places that you rent that includes utilities still, which might be an additional $200 or more. Waiting list for senior homes top 2 years. I'm miserable, Cohen said. I'm waking up in the middle of the night a lot of times because my brain won't shut off. Everything is so overwhelming. So instead of sitting around here trying to bully people who are talking on YouTube, these women might want to get into reading these articles and recognize what it is and what it might be going forward instead of worrying about getting on Kendra's show. But maybe that is the answer so they could try to find a husband or something. Because you could be single and independent and starting a business, but that might not last forever. I'm just saying. So then there's Carrie. It's becoming too expensive to be alive. I've lost everything and break down on a daily basis because I do not know how I can continue to survive with the cost of living. England, 61. So she younger than the 79-year-old and she might not want to be alive. Thought she'd grow old in a 3-bedroom home in Winchester, Virginia that she said she purchased with her partner in 1999, but that dream exploded in January 2021. Around that time, England learned to her surprise that her name was not on the deed of the house she'd been living in. WTF? What? How do you not know this? Yo, did I not say that women don't know about finance and credit and banking and all those type things? How do you not know your name is not on the deed? If you sit down at a table at a closing, it's there in front of you. What is going on? She had thought that had been arranged, and she contacted a legal aid lawyer hoping to recover money she'd put into the property. Without proof of ownership, the lawyer told her she didn't have a leg to stand on. Mm, mm, mm. Y'all, this is crazy. My nest was the house. It's gone. It was my investment, my peace of mind, England told me. England's story is complicated. She and her partner ended their long-time romantic relationship in 2009, but continued living together as friends. I'm going to go ahead and assume these are 2 women. That changed during the pandemic when he stopped working. All right. So they said that they would stay together to live for living purposes. Okay. So I was wrong. My bad. When he stopped working, and England's work as a caterer and hospitality specialist abruptly ended. So it was COVID. His personality changed a lot, she said, and I started encountering emotional abuse. Trying to cope, England enrolled in Medicaid and arranged for 8 sessions with a therapist specializing in domestic abuse. Those ended in November 2021, and she hasn't been able to find another therapist since. If I wasn't so worried about my housing situation, I think I could process and work through all the things that have happened. So she having a tough time, of course. So she's now saying it's domestic abuse because the man's personality changed. Okay, so she said it's emotional abuse. So you can't tell him to STFU and go on about your life so you can figure it out. Like, I'm confused by this, but to each his own, child, to each his own. After moving out of her home in early 2021, England relocated to Virginia where she rented an apartment for 1511. Yeesh, y'all, these prices. Thank you, Lord. Um, she thought wrongfully that she would qualify for assistance from Loudoun County with utilities and trash removal included. The monthly total exceeds 1,700. On an income of about 2,000 a month, which she scrambles to maintain by picking up gig work whenever she can. England has less than 300 available for everything else. Y'all, that's crazy. Oh my God. She has no savings. I do not have a life. I do not do anything other than try to find work, go to work, and go home. Whoo. England knows her housing costs are unsustainable, and she has put her name on more than a dozen waiting lists for affordable housing. She waiting for Section 8, y'all. And we all know how long that wait is. Even though I do think we've said that the senior citizens should have first dibs on that. But that's a whole different story. But there's little chance she'll see progress on that front anytime soon. If I were a younger person, I think I would be able to rebound from all the difficulties I'm having, she told me. I just never foresaw myself being in the situation at the age I am now. So if this is not a time and an opportunity for some of these, I can do it all by myself, independents to take a look at what they really doing and what it means further down the road, then this is the daggone time. This is an article that they need to be taking a look at. These women thought it was going on. They not in a I'm an independent type thing. The woman thought that her name was on a deed. How, Sway? How? How? And then she said the dude was given emotional, what did she say? Emotional abuse. So she had to go get a counselor. Girl, he could have been abusing himself over in that other room together. You paid his half, okay? And let's get it done. Period. Because you ain't got nowhere to go, and neither do I. That's it. That's all. So now we got Elaine. Whew. Please help. I just turned 65 and am disabled on disability. All right, kind of. This is a different situation. Though. If somebody's disabled, it's a different situation as far as I'm concerned. Okay. My husband is on Social Security and we cannot even afford to buy groceries. This is not what I have in mind for the golden years. When asked about her troubles, Raw 65 talks about a tornado that swept through Central Florida on Groundhog Day in 2007, destroying her home. Too late, she learned her insurance coverage wasn't adequate and wouldn't replace most of her belongings. Y'all can have Florida. You heard? No, 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 no. You have to have, I'm sure, hurricane insurance, regular homeowners insurance. If you need to have PMI insurance, like you should be insured up in Florida of all places. You just never know what's going to happen down in Florida. You're surrounded by water. It'd be warm. It riles the ocean up and all that other. There could be a tsunami in Florida as far as I'm concerned. I'm just saying, I don't wish it on them, but I'm just saying, you can have Florida, y'all. To make ends meet, Ross started working 2 jobs as a hairdresser and a customer service rep at a convenience store with her new husband, Douglas Ross. So she got a man, y'all. She got a man, a machinist. She purchased a new home. Recovery seemed possible. Okay, so this was after the 2007 incident. Then Elaine Ross fell twice over several years, breaking her leg, and ended up having 3 hip replacements. Sheesh. Trying to manage diabetes and beset by pain, Ross quit working in 2016 and applied for SSDI, which now pays her $919 a month. Mm, mm, mm. Whew. She doesn't have a pension. Douglas stopped working in 2019, no longer able to handle the demands of his job because of a bad back. He too doesn't have a pension. With Douglas's Social Security payment of $1,051 a month, the couple lived on just over $23,600 annually. Their meager savings evaporated with various emergency expenditures, and they sold their home. So this picture, it says, is her son and his wife. Um, that's all it says. Their rent in Empire, Alabama, where they live now, is 540, y'all. 540. $540 a month. Other regular expenses include 200 a month for their truck and gas, 340 for Medicare Part B, 200 for electricity, 100 for medication, 70 for phone, and hundreds of dollars Ross didn't offer a precise estimate for food. All this inflation is just killing us, she said. So when people talking about like politicians and all these people on like Sunday morning shows, oh, we're not in a recession yet. Oh, we don't know if we're in a recession yet. I think that we are, but you got people out here that want to make people think that everything is okay so they can go ahead and keep spending, especially now during the season. Spend that money, okay? And we'll tell y'all it's a recession in early 2023 or mid. We'll see. We'll see. But trust, we already in one. To cut costs, Ross has been turning off the air conditioning during peak hours for electricity rates, 1 to 7 p.m. Despite summer temperatures in the 90s or higher, I sweat like a bullet and try to wear the least amount of clothes possible. Y'all, come on now. Come on now. People need to be thinking about the future like this. You know, if you don't think you're going to, like I said, the goal is to be old, but if people don't think they're going to get there, I guess it don't matter. But I think some women need to take these stories into account right now because no one seems to be able to see into the future. And this is a magnifying glass into the possible future. Okay. She said, it's awful. I know I'm not the only old person in this situation, but it pains me that I've lived my whole life doing all the right things to be in the situation I'm in. So that's it. That's all. But still, that's crazy. It I swear to you, I think people just don't think that, anything changes. You're gonna be 20 some odd years old forever, 30 some odd years old forever. Don't think about like what are you gonna do when you do get to the elderly years? What is the money that you have saved? What is your housing situation? Do you own anything? Like you can't depend on your kids. They got their own lives, they got their own families. I'm sure they will help. But then you don't want a man, you don't need a man, you don't want to get married and all that type stuff. So what is the plan? You can't wait until you get to be 70 in order to come up and formulate a plan as evidenced here by the 60 to 70 in whatever age the other person was. But it's like